British Columbia Institute of Technology acknowledges that our campuses are located on the unceded traditional territories of the Coast Salish nations of Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh.
Good afternoon, I'm Quinlan Curry, and you're listening to BCIT News. Here are your news, sports, and weather updates to 3 p.m. on this rainy Thursday. Surrey RCMP are investigating another extortion-related shooting, the second time the same home has been targeted. Police say shots were fired around 7:30 Wednesday night at a house on 32nd Avenue, but no one was hurt. Investigators believe the attack is tied to the wave of extortion threats impacting South Asian communities across Metro Vancouver. A provincial team dedicated to extortion cases is already active, and the City of Surrey has put up a $250,000 reward for information leading to convictions. RCMP and Canal are searching for a 42-year-old suspect after a stabbing downtown sent a 34-year-old man to hospital in critical condition. Police say the two men knew each other, and the attack happened during an altercation just after 6 p.m. Monday. Anyone with information is asked to contact Canal RCMP. An inmate at Kent Institution in Agassiz has been seriously injured after being assaulted by multiple attackers inside the maximum security prison. Correctional Service Canada says the incident happened November 10th, and the victim was taken to hospital but has since returned to the facility. RCMP and prison officials are investigating. No staff or other inmates were hurt. BC's Human Rights Commissioner is sharply criticizing the province's response to the opioid overdose crisis, saying it violates human rights by treating drug use as a criminal issue instead of a health issue. Kasari Govender says policies like involuntary care ignore evidence-based solutions such as safer supply and harm reduction. Toxic drugs remain the leading cause of death for British Columbians aged 19 to 59, with more than 5 deaths a day this year. The 8-week BCGEU strike is officially over. The union says 89% of members voted in favor of the new deal with the province. It includes 3% annual wage increases for 4 years, plus improved mental health and vision benefits. Union President Paul Finch calls it a win for workers and says the agreement will help retain experienced public servants. And for your business update, the U.S. stock market tumbled to one of its worst days since its springtime sell-off. The S&P 500 sank 1.7% Thursday and pulled further from its all-time high set late last month. The Dow Jones Industrial Average fell 1.7% from its own record set the day before, while the Nasdaq Composite lost 2.3%. NVIDIA and other AI superstar stocks dragged the market lower and continued worries that their prices had shot too high. Also hurting the market were questions about whether coming cuts to interest rates that Wall Street has been banking on will actually happen. In other business news, Toyota is recalling over 126,000 vehicles. ABC's Alex Stone has more.
Toyota is recalling certain 2022 to 2024 Tundra, Lexus RX, and GX models equipped with a certain type of engine, as debris from the manufacturing process may contaminate the engine and cause the main bearings to fail. It could result in an engine stall or a loss of drive power. The recall says at higher speeds it could increase the risk of a crash. A remedy has not yet been developed, and Toyota says a repair will be available when a fix is determined. Owners will be mailed letters and then mailed again once there's a fix. Alex Stone, ABC News.
In national news, Prime Minister Mark Carney has added 2 major BC projects to Ottawa's fast-track list: the Sullisums LNG facility and the North Coast transmission line. Carney says the LNG project would be one of the cleanest in the world and could add $4 billion a year to Canada's GDP. The new transmission line between Prince George and Terrace could generate $10 billion in economic activity. 2 First Nations have launched court challenges, but Ottawa says it's putting major financing on the table for Indigenous equity ownership. The Director of Canada's Intelligence Service says the global Arctic has become a theater of increased interest due to its economic and strategic potential. In a speech, Dan Rogers says it is no surprise that CSIS has seen foreign intelligence collection efforts in the region, targeting both governments and the private sector.
Non-Arctic states, including the People's Republic of China, seek to gain a strategic and economic foothold in the region. Russia, an Arctic state with a significant military presence in the region, remains unpredictable and aggressive.
Rogers says CSIS has provided Inuit and territorial governments with information to help them take national security into account as they make decisions about business and research opportunities with foreign companies and investors. Elsewhere, a Vancouver-based cybercrime team has helped dismantle more than 1,000 servers linked to global ransomware attacks and data-stealing malware. RCMP say the operation involved police in several countries, including 9 searches in the Netherlands, and which led to 1 arrest. Superintendent Adam McIntosh says the message is clear. There's no safe haven for criminals exploiting digital systems. A new research report says influencers now have more reach on major social media platforms than politicians or news organizations. Researchers from McGill and the University of Toronto analyzed roughly 4 million posts from over 1,000 influencers across X, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Blue Sky. They found influencers generated more political content than elected officials, and nearly as much as traditional media, shaping what many Canadians see online. In international news, November 13th, 2025 marks 10 years since the coordinated terrorist attacks that struck Paris. Our reporter, Avia Boulay, looks back at what happened that night.
10 years ago, 3 coordinated teams carried out a series of attacks that spread fear across Paris. Armed with guns and explosives, they targeted multiple locations, starting outside the Stade de France during an international soccer match between France and Germany, with more than 80,000 people in attendance. The attackers then moved to nearby cafes and restaurants before storming the Bataclan Theatre. In total, 137 people were killed, and another 416 were injured. Today, Paris and the world remembers the lives lost. Avia Boulay, BCIT News.
And now, for your science update. Some space watchers are calling our latest interstellar visitor a possible alien craft, but a Montreal planetary scientist says the object known as Comet 3I Atlas is behaving like a perfectly natural comet, just one that's older and faster than what we're used to. Richard Levay, an adjunct professor at McGill University, says the strange-looking comet may be unusual, but it's still well within what science can explain.
Facts about it, we're making interesting observations. And most of these are either not that surprising or can be explained by specialists, and comet specialists are of course looking at this in great detail. And nothing is really so unexplainable that the only possible answer is that it's aliens or an alien spacecraft.
Levay says comet specialists are still studying 3I Atlas in detail, but so far, he says, there's no evidence it's anything other than a natural object from another star system. Moving on to sports, an MLB franchise could be for sale. The chairman of the College Football Playoff Selection Committee is out, and the stage for the Northern Super League final is set. In the CFL, the league hands out its awards tonight in Winnipeg. Nathan Rourke of the BC Lions and Bo Levi Mitchell of Hamilton are finalists for Most Outstanding Player. The event is set to get underway at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And in baseball, tonight, the MVP awards will be announced. In the National League, Dodgers superstar Shohei Ohtani is the runaway favorite. In the American League, it's Aaron Judge versus Seattle's Cal Raleigh. On the pitch, Vancouver Rise head coach Anya Heiner-Mueller says she wanted to be part of the Northern Super League from the get-go.
I was waiting for this league to come to Canada, and I wanted to be in it. I pushed to be in it, and since the beginning, like the planning for the 3 years, just been watching from Denmark as well to see it get built. And I mean, if you waited that long to build a league, I think you also know that this will be great when it starts up.
The former Danish international looks to hoist the Diana B. Matheson Cup on Saturday when Vancouver faces an AFC Toronto in the inaugural championship game at Toronto's BMO Field. In baseball, the San Diego Padres could be headed for a change in ownership. The family of late owner Peter Seidler says it's evaluating its future with the team, including a possible sale of the franchise. The Padres have hired the same firm involved in the recent sales of the Boston Celtics and Chicago White Sox. Seidler became the Padres chairman after his brother's death in November of 2023. Elsewhere, Cleveland Guardians closer Emmanuel Clase has pleaded not guilty to charges that he took bribes to help gamblers win bets on the pitches he threw. The 27-year-old three-time All-Star appeared in Brooklyn federal court Thursday. He was arrested earlier at JFK Airport after returning to the country from his native Dominican Republic. Teammate and countryman Luis Ortiz pleaded not guilty Wednesday to similar charges. The two have been on non-disciplinary paid leave since July, when MLB began investigating what it said was unusually high in-game betting activity when they pitched. Prosecutors say the two accepted thousands of dollars in bribes to help unnamed gamblers in the Dominican Republic win at least $460,000 on bets placed on their pitches. In college football, Baylor Athletic Director Mack Rhoades has stepped down as chairman of the College Football Playoff Selection Committee. Baylor says he's also taking a personal leave of absence from the school effective Wednesday, while it investigates allegations against him. While not going into additional details, Baylor Vice President Jason Cook said Thursday those allegations against Rhoades do not involve Title IX, student-athlete welfare, or NCAA violation rules, and do not involve the football program. Cook said the university takes the allegations seriously and is in the process of conducting a thorough investigation. Rhoades was in his first season running the committee that sets the rankings for the new 12-team playoff. The college football playoff will name a new chair for the rest of the season. And for your weather update, the South Coast is facing a risk of flooding as another strong system brings up to 50 millimeters of rain to Howe Sound, the North Shore, Whistler, Coquitlam, and Maple Ridge. Drivers are urged to take extra caution. And those were your news, sports, and weather updates to 3 p.m. I'm Quinlan Curry, and you're listening to BCIT News.
When I tell people that I studied journalism, they immediately say, oh, you want to be a reporter. But I think, in my case personally, I really want to go into magazines, PR, social media, and I think here at school we learn a lot of skills that allow you to go into that world, because you learn how to write for social media, social content, for websites,